The myths of ancient Greece have brought us the tale of the Gigantomachy, the battle between the Olympian gods and the giants, the children of the fallen Titans, one of whom was Kronos, the lord of time. This Gigantomachy, in which even Hercules participated, took place on the Phlegraean Fields, an open coal deposit located in western Halkidiki on the Pallene Peninsula in Greece. After Hercules' victory, he supposedly returned to the Phlegraean Fields to pay final respects to his enemies and bury the fallen giants. This myth was considered a beautiful story until 1996, when caves of enormous proportions were discovered nearby in Laconia, in the southeastern part of the Peloponnese, later named Alepotripa. Before we continue our story, I'd like to ask you to support our channel. Subscribe to us so you don't miss new videos, and your likes and comments will help us continue to share amazing discoveries and grow our community. Thank you. Speleologist and anthropologist Alepotripa, along with scientists Bachanderos and Calatos, descended into these underground galleries and discovered a large number of household items and even metallic objects, but most importantly, skulls that were several times larger than human skulls in size. Strange symbols, signs, and drawings are also found on the walls. The galleries are located at a depth of 200 meters and are almost completely filled with pure water. The question of who lived in this underground world remains unanswered to this day. The age of the burial is also unknown, but all the findings have been covered in stalactites, a process that, as we know, takes thousands of years. The claim that giants once ruled the earth is not only found in myths and legends, but also in quite authoritative historical sources. For example, the ancient Greek historian and orator Theopompus, who lived in the 4th century BCE, spoke of a race of giant meropes who inhabited a large island in the Atlantic Ocean. The Babylonian priest and historian Berosus claims that there were 3 types of intelligent beings on our planet: giants, amphibious people, and ordinary humans. Similar information is also found in later sources claiming historical reliability. The Arab diplomat Ahmed ibn Fadlan, in 922 AD, described the remains of a slain giant during his embassy to Volga, Bulgaria. "And here I am near this man, and I see that his height, measured by my forearm, is 12 forearms. And here he has a head, the biggest cauldron there is. His nose is larger than a quarter, both eyes are enormous, and each finger is larger than a quarter. If we assume that the forearm of the Arab traveller was of modest size, then the height of the giant was no less than 4 meters. Interestingly, Fadlan's account indirectly confirms local legends about a whole tribe of giants recorded by Russian researchers in the late 18th century in the Volga basin. In one of the ancient books titled History and Antiquities, currently housed in the library of the University of Oxford, there is a report of the discovery of a giant skeleton made in Cumberland during the Middle Ages. The giant is buried in the ground to a depth of 4 yards and is in full military attire. His sword and battle axe lie next to him. The length of the skeleton is 4.5 yards, 4 meters, and the teeth of the big man measure 6.5 inches, 17 centimeters. The famous Spanish navigator Ferdinand Magellan, during his circumnavigation voyage in 1520, wintered with his crew in Argentina. In the territory of Patagonia, the crew members encountered indigenous people who were significantly taller than 2 meters. This was mentioned by the chronicler of the crew, Antonio Pigafetta. As a result, Magellan came up with the name for this region, Patagonia, derived from the Italian word Patagoni, which means land of the big feet. However, the crew was unable to transport several captured giants back to Spain as they died during the voyage. Over the past 20 years, there have been numerous reports in the press about giants, but confirming or refuting most of them is quite difficult. Among the most credible accounts is the story of English explorer and traveller Gerald Alston. In 1991, he was captured by giants living in the mountains of southeastern Venezuela, the Guiana Highlands. These giants were dark-skinned individuals, with an average height of around 3 meters and the ability to easily crush a human head with a single punch. Alston witnessed this when one of the giants, in a fit of rage, killed an indigenous person by smashing his skull into a mess of brain and bones. Besides Gerald, several ordinary indigenous people were held captive and used as toys for children and servants by the giants. On one occasion, a young child playfully broke Alston's arm, causing him to suffer for an entire month. 6 months later, Gerald and one of the indigenous individuals managed to escape, and the explorer was able to reach the nearest settlement and return home. For example, in the folklore of the indigenous people of Australia, there are legends of giant people who once inhabited their territories. In the limestone bed of the upper Macleay River, enormous footprints have been found. The fingertip impressions in these tracks measure 10 centimeters in length, and the width of the foot is 25 centimeters. Equally impressive giant footprints have been found in North America. In 1932, a local hunter discovered petrified human footprints in White Sands, New Mexico. They measured 55 centimeters in length. 30 tracks formed a straight line, indicating a person calmly going about their business. A similar find was made in 1982 near Carson, Nevada. A massive foot impression was discovered in South Africa. However, the stone slab was positioned vertically, leading scientists to consider this giant footprint as nothing more than a natural formation. In 1979, in the Megalong Valley area of the Blue Mountains in Australia, local residents found a huge stone protruding from the surface of a creek. It displayed a partial imprint of a massive foot with 5 toes. The width of the toes measured 17 centimeters. Such imprints could only have been left by a person standing 6 meters tall. In New Zealand, in the Waipua Forest region, archaeological excavations in the 1920s revealed traces of an ancient civilization that predated the Polynesian settlement by the Maori people, which began in the 10th century AD. Near this site, in a cave near Waitakere, chestnut and red, hair belonging to ancient humans were discovered, and in Mitamati, a giant human skeleton over 3 meters tall was found. What's even more surprising is that archaeological excavations in the Waipua forest have been ongoing for the past 30 years. The findings of the archaeologists remain unknown, as in 1988, the New Zealand government classified all the results of these excavations for 75 years. In 1999, British paleontologists discovered the fossilized remains of a humanoid creature with a highly specific body structure in the Gobi Desert, Wulak, southern Mongolia, in rock formations dating back 45 million years. The cranial features of this creature indicate a close relationship with the early hominid ancestors that lived 6 to 8 million years ago. Other anthropological features clearly link the discovery to the highly developed Homo sapiens. The cranial structure indisputably suggests that this creature possessed some level of intelligence, as it had speech organs and therefore the ability to communicate. Its intelligence was evaluated based on this parameter. The skeletal structure of this creature is similar to that of humans, except for disproportionately large hands. The reasons for this anomaly are unclear. Furthermore, the height of this humanoid was approximately 15 meters, with the lower limbs measuring about 7 meters in length. The journal Nature speculated that the discovery in Wulak was an elaborately crafted and expensive hoax created by talented specialists. However, the local legends of a skeletal demon living in the gorge support the authenticity of the find. Thus, based on various publications, bones, skulls, skeletons, as well as tracks and footprints, have been found in many regions of the globe. It is worth noting that specialists also discover megaliths scattered all over the world. Who could have created or built such massive structures that astound with their grandeur. If we consider these pieces of evidence about ancient giants individually, they will remain wonders and unsolvable mysteries for most scientists. However, when we gather all these pieces of information together, a comprehensive and quite cohesive picture of the development of an ancient civilization emerges, which is reflected in the myths and legends of many nations around the world. Join our channel to explore more captivating stories of history and archaeology, where we delve into the complexities of our past and shed light on intriguing discoveries. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment to support our work and be part of our growing community.